Hi friends, it's your girl Laressa, aka La to the A-E-S-S. Welcome back or welcome to the channel. If you are new here, this is a place on the internet where I help fellow real estate brothers and sisters keep it real estate so you can become that real estate agent. And in this video, I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to design a custom personal real estate website with Canva websites. This video is going to be long, it's going to be juicy and very detailed. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your laptop, open up Canva, and let's get to work. All right, let's go. So as you know, if you've been on my channel for quite some time now, you know that I always plan my designs before I make my tutorials. So I'm going to show you what I have come up with. And of course, you know how it is, you know what I do. I always make the Canva template for you. So if you don't have the time to follow this very long video, I have this already available on my Etsy shop. So scan this code over here to check it out. Anyways, let's get into what this design looks like. I'm going to reload this page here so you can see, because I have animations on the front. Oh, gorgeous. So we have two clickable buttons right on the cover page, your logos over here, and navigation right at the top. Now, if I do click on either of these buttons, it's going to pull us down this page to that section. Did you see that? Oh, gorgeous. So let's go back up to the top. I'm going to the about here. So again, we have our cover page, clickable buttons, we have an about section, you, and then we have an area for featured listings, so listings that you have or possibly other listings in your office that you want to feature, highlight just to gain some traffic and engagement on your site. Next, we have a section for selling for your sellers, and then we have a seller guide that they can download here. Next up, we have the buying section with resources here as well. And then we have the buyer guide where they can also download that. Then finally, we have testimonials from your clients. And then I have a button here if you have more testimonials, let's say on Google Business, you can forward them to that link there. And then I have a cute little section here for newsletter if you are wanting to build your email newsletter, which I highly recommend you do very, very early. And then finally, we have our agent section here, just the agent footer with all of your contact information. And finally, my favorite button on this page is this one. Click this, back to the top. There we go. So again, if you want to purchase this template, it is available on my Etsy shop. It looks exactly like this. You just buy, plug and play, put in your brand colors, your fonts, and you'll be up and running in less than an hour. It will be really quick and easy. And as always, thank you so much for supporting my creative work. Now let's get into the main homepage of Canva. So we are going to be going over here to the websites. And you know me, we're going to start with a blank website, and we are just gonna be vibing and designing today. No cuts, no nothing. It's gonna be a long one. So are you ready? This is gonna be a lot. So we actually need 15 pages. Yeah, 15 pages. So we are just gonna go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. So I know that looks kind of really crazy, but don't be scared. Don't be scared. We are going to go back up to our first page. This is going to be, we're going to shorten this up because this is actually going to be our logo header. Now, before we actually kind of go into designing, I first want to prep this first. We're going to be creating, I guess you could say, the bare bones, the skeleton, the structure, the site map of this website. So I always like to turn on my rulers and guides. So Shift R to turn on your rulers and guides. And I like to take a vertical line and I click and drag and pull directly into the center. You can see how it's highlighted in that magenta color up here. That's directly in the center. And I always like to turn on my margins here. So show margins. You can see here there is that serrated edging right there. So that is your margin. Now I am going to change this a different color so I can keep pace and keep track of what area, what page is what. So in this case, I'm going to put my headers and footers as my very dark green color here. And then I'm just going to note here, this is going to be our cover page. And then this is going to be our about section. So it doesn't have to be that big. Again, I'm going to go text box, do about. Next up is going to be our listings page. So T listing. Next up, this is actually going to be I'm going to put at 275, there we go. This is going to be I would call it this kind of like a spacer, or just like to basically break up the sections in between, your listing section, buyers, sellers. So it's easy to understand that even though it's one continuous single website, it's one single page, whoever's coming across this page will be able to understand the different sections of the website. So that's going to be kind of like where you can put some quotes, just fun things, just again to break up each section. Now this part is going to be our selling. So this is where we put information for our sellers. And then next up, this is going to be, the second page is going to be where our seller guide little mock-up is going to be. Again, this page here, number 8, is going to be another spacer. So I'm going to put this at 275. I'm going to change this color here. And then this is going to be, we'll just leave it quote for now. Then the 9th page is going to be for our buyers. 10th page is going to be buyer guide mockup. And then our 10th page here, 11. So 10 is buyer guide. 11 is going to be another spacer. So 275. Okay, we'll leave that 274. And I'm also going to change the color as well to this. Now page 12 is going to be for reviews and testimonials. And then this page here, number 13, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, just randomly here for now. This is going to be an optional page. Again, this is going to be for our newsletter. And then our 14th page is going to be our contact. So this is going to be the agent footer with your contact information. And then finally, this is going to be our little footer here with that fun back to the top text here. So I'm going to name this back to the top in all caps. And you know what? I'm going to make the text here white. And I'm going to make the background black. And I'm going to link this to the top. So I clicked on the text box, hit those three dots. And then we need to look for just this link here. And I'm going to link it, scroll down, link it to page number 1. And just hit done. And I always like to remove the underline because I don't like that look. Just keep it at that. I'm going to change my contact page color to this. So if I scroll out, this is basically the site map of our website. It looks very long, but once we start to fill it out, we'll be good to go. All right. So I'm just going to build this out essentially in the chronological order, page by page. So I hope you follow with me. Now, again, this top header is going to be where our logos are. Now, if you have your own logo and you are with a company, just put your logo on one side, put your company logo on the other side. Or if you are, an independent brokerage and you just have the one logo, then you can just go ahead and center it right in the center, whatever you like. Totally up to you. And if you want to learn how to make your logo in Canva like I did with this one, I do have another tutorial which I will link in the cards above and in the description box down below, so do check it out. So I'm just going to put that there. That is your first page. Done. Now next up, we are going to go into our cover page here. Now typically with this page, I like it to be kind of faded with my brand colors. So in this case, I'm going to click on the background. I'm going to go up to my background color. I'm going to change it to this color here. We're gonna leave it like that, and then go in and upload a cover image. Now, I'm not sure if you know, but you can actually connect your Google Drive to Canva. I have another tutorial that I will link down below. So basically, this is connected to my Google Drive. I have a folder of pictures in here. Let's see. There is the one that I like, or maybe I already put it into my uploads already. Let's see. It's this one. This one, drag it in there, and then once the picture's in there, it's still selected, go up to here, transparency. And I usually like to pull it down somewhere near like around 30 or 25. Like that, because we want to have the text to still be legible. So in this case, I'm just gonna remove that now. And then I am going to go into my text here, grab this and that. Okay, I am going to, let's see if I can, I'm gonna lock this guide down because I know I'm gonna touch it. Lock guide, so once we do that, we can't move that. And that guide will make more sense in a little bit. I'm gonna change the colors here to white, center these two pieces together. I actually want this to be up here. Okay. And so you can put whatever you want in here. I am just going to copy and paste from my other document just to save you the time. And then do that. I thought this was just a cute little saying. A place called home, oops, is where your story begins. Ta-da! And then center that. This is 36, this is 42. Maybe I want to make it just a little bit smaller so it looks relatively the same size, but the fonts are just different. Center, that looks centered, and you can make it a little bit bigger, like that. And then now we're gonna build out our buttons. Okay, but one thing I do want to add is perhaps a shadow. So, oh, there was effects. So click on the text box, go to effects. I like the lift. Just again, it adds more dimension, and then it just makes it a little bit easier to read. Now we can go ahead and build out our buttons. So I'm actually going to lock down that photo in the back so I don't move it. I'm gonna group this together, but I might just scoot it up closer. And then let's go ahead and group that together, and let's go in elements. I'm just gonna grab a simple square here. And now the thing about your buttons is you want to make sure that your buttons across all of your pages look the same. So that way whoever's coming across will know that that is a clickable button. So I'm going to change that to the white color there. White or cream? Actually, I'll go with the cream color. And then I'm going to change the color of the font to this. And then I'm just going to put this in caps. Maybe I might make it just a little bigger. Okay, once you're happy with that button, I'm going to just hold the Alt key on my keyboard. Oop. I guess not. Hold the Alt key and drag. I have my mouse highlighted, so that's why it's drawing on the screen. But anyways, I just needed to duplicate that button. Alright, so instead of saying buy, we're gonna say sell. And that's what it looks like. And then we can actually hyperlink these buttons to the pages, but maybe we should go into the grid view. Maybe we should label them so it actually makes it easier to see where everything is. Okay, so this number 3 is going to be about. Number 4 is going to be listings. Number 6 is sell. And then number 9 is going to be buy. And then 12 is going to be reviews. 13 is newsletter. And then 14 is going to be contact. Now, the pages that are not labeled are just not going to be part of the navigation. So, totally up to you what you want to include and what you don't want to include in the navigation at the top above the header where the logos are. But that all said, now that we know what each page is labeled at, it is going to make it easier for us to know where to link those 2 buttons on the cover page to. So remember, number 6 is sell, number 9 is buy. But that's okay, because now that we've labeled them, we can actually see what each page is. So hit those 3 dots, go to link, scroll down, and this one is buy, so that's number 9. And then again, I don't like the underline, so I'm just going to zoom in a bit. Same thing. Let's go into link. And this is number 6. And then I'm just going to unlink. There we go. That is the cover page. Done. Now, moving on to the about section. Now, what I'm going to do is kind of strange, kind of funny, but bear with me. So we're going to go into elements, scroll down to grids. We need this one here. And as you can see here, we need to, what I want to do is just pull in that grid so it's in that serrated rectangle. Now, I'm doing this because when we go from desktop view to mobile view, I'm telling Canva to maintain the spacing in my margins so it doesn't squeeze everything all together. So this is something that I kind of learned on my own. It's a little bit of a hack for you, so definitely try it out. It might not work for every single page, but in this case, I wanted to do that. So in this case, even if you don't fill this out, like put a picture in here or color it, it will actually just be transparent on the preview. So if I go here we have the front cover page, and the second page has nothing. You see that? But there's actually a grid there. See, the grid is right there. But in any case, you can, what I recommend is to either put a picture of yourself or upload like a video of yourself. But in this case, what I recommend you to do is just to make a YouTube video, an unlisted YouTube video, or if this is on your YouTube channel as like a channel trailer, I recommend you putting a video in there, just a quick little bio of yourself, because people would rather watch and listen than to read. You know what I mean? So, and of course, it's nice to add in video because then people get to hear your tonality, your voice, things like that. So I'm just going to go into my channel here, and I'm just going to grab this link, copy, will it work? Copy and paste. Oh no, I'm hyperlinking the grid. So click on the background and then copy and paste. So if you see me doing that, my brother actually gave me this very special mouse, and it has buttons on the side. You can't see it, but I programmed these buttons to copy and paste. So if you don't see me right clicking or doing Command or Control C or V on my computer, it's because I have programmed buttons on my mouse, and it's life-changing. Anyways, I'm ranting. So I'm just going to make sure this is centered here, and then again, just to save you all the time, I am just going to go into my pre-made design here, and I'm just going to literally copy and paste it over here so you can see. So again, this is just 2 text boxes. Just give yourself a brief little intro. And then what I want to do is to also create another button. So I'm actually going to make this page a little bit bigger. So I'm going to have to extend this grid here too, like that. And what I'm going to do is actually just take one of these buttons up here. So, you know, copy and paste here. And now with this button, I'm actually going to make it look a little bit nicer. So before I do that, I'm going to actually add color into here. So I'm going to just make it white so it matches the background, so it's not so distracting and you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to make this button a different color. So as you can see here, I have some gradients that I have in my brand kit already. So if I click that, it's going to make that gradient there. Or if I want this gradient here, that doesn't really do it for me. But if you want to make your own custom gradient, you can just say, if I click this one, if you go into here, add new, rather than having, usually it's going to take you into solid color, but if you go into gradient, that's where it is. And then, but you'll have to manually put in the hex codes, or not in this case. If you just, you know, if you want to just copy this color. Oh, that is a very strange green. Okay. It's doing that because I have my halo on. That's why it's pulling that green color. Okay. Anyways, I'm just probably gonna go with this, but maybe I will just delete this and add in more color like this. Okay. Does that look good? Let's see. Let me look on my other screen. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to steal this button from my other design here. It's just the gradient that I want. But as you can see here, you can create your own gradient, or you can just make it a solid color if you want to. Now do notice here that I have a bit of a shadow here because I went in and added a shadow. So to do that, you go into elements and then go and search for shadow. Like that. And these are all pro, but I mean, it doesn't matter which one you choose. You choose one of these. You put it underneath your button. Oh, and make sure you don't put it into that frame. So you have to be careful. You actually have to use your keys and put this behind to layer, send it backwards, and then you would just group these two elements together just like that. But anyways, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to steal my button from my other design, and I'm going to ungroup this so I can change the text. Actually, that's actually what I want. So, but before you do group the shadow and the button together, what I recommend is you go in and hit those three dots and then connect it to the page. So in this page, I'm going to edit the link. This button, I'm actually going to link it down to the contact page here, which is going to be your agent footer with all of your contact information. So I'm just going to click on that one. And then again, remove the underline. Remove the underline. And then just select both of these items and then group them together. And then this is where you can put in the animation. So in this case, I'm just going to put a rise, just like that. Now, when it comes to animations, what I recommend is only using it on the buttons and some of the picture elements just to make it interesting. Now, in this case, for the cover page, I would go into positions here first, go into layers, and because you don't want to select just the one text, you see how it's only selected the one. If you select the one and then put an animation, it's only going to animate that text box. So that's why you want to go in here and click on that grouped element together so you can select the whole thing and then go into animate and then do a rise or whatever animation you like, and I just like to slow it down. So in this case, I don't like to animate the buttons, just that piece of text there. So we have, in this case, I'm going to make this come down here. Can make this a little bit bigger. And then while you are designing, I always go into the preview and I just want to make sure what it looks like, what it looks like on the desktop version versus what it looks like when I go into the mobile view here. Because again, sometimes it's finicky. So there you go. So that looks pretty much good. And then the navigation for mobile is up here. So if they click that, they can see the menu here. Anyways, there you go. Ideally, I would have liked this to stack underneath each other. I wonder why it's not doing that. Okay, let's go see. Maybe they need to be further apart to be stacked. Okay, so let's preview. There you go. I think that looks better when the buttons are stacked like that in mobile. So I'm happy with that. And that's pretty much it for the second page. Now let's move on to featured listings. And I'm going to show you a trick to help you design faster. So if you go into designs up here and you go into layouts, Canva will actually show you some page layouts that can help you start the page design essentially. So in this case for featured listings, I went with this one because it was in the style that I needed. So typically when you have different elements, you want to follow kind of that, I call it a 3/3 rule essentially. So when you have things like testimonials or listings, you want to stack things or have them in a row of 3 rather than a row of 4 or 5 because it looks kind of messy. You just want to have threes because those look really good on websites. I don't know what it is. But as you can see here, it's wherever you are moving your mouse, it's going to pull those colors from the page. But I want this, but I don't want that color. Oh, no. Actually, okay. When will it go to the white page? Go to the white page. Hello? Okay. I don't know where that's going to go, but I'm going to add as new. I am just going to probably copy this. So Command or Control C, and then go back to here. And I'm just going to paste it there. Again, I'm using my shortcut keys on my mouse. Okay. Now in this case, you would just go in and add another button if you have more listings, and then, or not, if you just want to do just the 3 listings, whatever, up to you. But I'm going to copy over these elements from my other design here. I'm just going to move this down here. But you can see here I have the text and I have that same button. Now, more listings. This, if you have, let's say, a KV Core site, I would literally just link this button to your KV Core website. So if people do look at listings there, they can register on your site, and then you'll be able to see essentially what they're looking at, or have a gauge on, client activity per se. Or if you don't have KV Core and your office has a main website, I would definitely just link that there. So whatever you want to do, you can do. If you don't want that button there, you don't need to have that button there. Now, next thing underneath here. So again, these are just 2 text boxes that I've just also grouped together to make it look good. And then I put that button up there. And then with these are too square for me, so I just went in and fixed them up. Now, usually, because these are already the same, I just make one look good. And then again, I just go in and go to make a button. So in this case, I'm going to just go pick a square, and you can have this button color, whatever you'd like. I'm just going to make it black, and I'm going to put this as white. And I'm just going to say view listing. So you can hyperlink this button to wherever this listing is, but what I recommend you to do, if you have watched my other tutorials on how to make a property website for your listings, I would link that button to that website. So let's say, for example, this is text about your property, whatever it is, just a quick little intro. So I'm just going to do that. Again, I'm holding the Alt key on my keyboard and clicking and dragging. And then there we go. In this case, after you put in your photos, because these are grids, so you are frames essentially, and you can just go in and, put a picture in there, whatever you'd like, just like that. And then obviously put in your text underneath. But in this case, to hyperlink that button, I would just go in and, let's say, for example, let me just grab where are you? This page, property listing. So I would go in and grab this page here, go back into your design, and I would just right click, and then I would go to link and paste it and just hit enter or hit done, and then unlink. And then once you're done adding all your information in there, click and drag with your mouse. And we want to group. Can we group these? Can I group it? Ooh, why can't I group these? Maybe I need to use a different kind of frame. Let's see here. Nope. Frame. Let's see. I should be able to. There we go. Yeah, for some reason, the frame that was in that page template doesn't allow me to grouped together. So that's really strange. So I guess we'll just have to build out that page manually then, instead of using what Canva gives you. So in this case, do the same thing. But my point was, you need to go in and group each section together, because if you don't, if you go into mobile, it's gonna be a mess. So make sure you click and drag to group, click and drag to group, and group. And in this case, I don't animate anything other than just this main button here, because I want that to be highlighted. So again, it already has a rise on it because I stole that button from my other design. So that's a nice thing about Canva designs. You can have another Canva design document open, and then you can just copy from one design, go into the other tab, and then just paste it in there. It makes it really easy. So I'm just going to make sure that this is centered in the page, and then go into preview. Again, always go and see what it looks like. So you see how the button is down there? It's not supposed to be down there. We have to fix that. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Up here, see, it looks good on desktop, but when we go into mobile, it's not doing what I want it to do. So in this case, I would bring these down just slightly, open this page up a little bit more, click on this button, and I am going to lock it. Then if you go back into preview, again, it's going to look fine on desktop, but if you go to the mobile version, there we go. That button lives up there, which is exactly what we want. And again, if you're in preview, you can also check these buttons. So again, we hyperlink to this button is going to open up this other Canva website. Again, if you want to learn how to make this, I have another tutorial, or if you want to buy this template, it is available on my Etsy shop too. So check it out. Okay, so I'm going to go and close this out, back into our design. Now that is that. Now at this point we have our cover page, our about page, featured listings, and then now we can move on to, again, this little spacer quote section. So you can put whatever you want in here. Again, I'm going to save you the time, and I'm just going to copy and paste this here. So again, this is 2 text boxes that I've grouped together. Now I chose this because I wanted to indicate that this is now going to be a section about sellers. So now that that's there, we can start to design this page here. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why I have this straight line directly in the middle, because again, when we're designing for Canva websites and when you go to mobile, basically whatever's on the left-hand side first will be stacked on top of this side here. So that's kind of how it works, but sometimes Canva doesn't understand what needs to be where, and sometimes it will squish all of your pages together and then the design doesn't look nice. So that's why I've been using the method of putting in grids to maintain that spacing. So in this case, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to just put this here. In this case, I actually want to make this a little bit longer. And then I'm going to actually put a picture here. So let's go in, see if I have anything here that I like. This one. And then for this side, actually, let me clean this up a little bit better. This side, I'm just going to make white because this is where I want my text to be. So in this case, I am just going to, again, save you the time. And I'm just going to copy and paste what I have on my other design. And so this is just 2 pieces of text, 1, 2, grouped together. And this is just fun little dots. If you want to find that, I think dots. And then I chose this here. And then once you do it, you can actually go in and manipulate the weight of it. You can manipulate the color, so I chose a gradient, and you can also change, again, if you wanted it to be round or square, whatever you like. That's what I did, just to add a little bit more visual interest, if you will. And then just bullet points, because you don't want too much text, because again, people they like to skim when they're going through websites. So that's kind of what I did. And then here's the fun part that I really like, is actually putting clickable buttons on this photo here. So in this case, we're going to go into elements once again. We're going to grab our shape here. and we are going to be making buttons. So I'm going to just do this. Let's zoom in just a little bit. I'm going to make this black. And for fun, I'm just going to give this a white border. You probably can't even tell the difference, but I don't know. I kind of like just a slight look. I mean, you can kind of see it, but you can't really see it. I don't know. So I'm just going to make sure that this is in the center of this photo. Now, if you don't like the look of where this photo is, you just click on it, go to edit photo, go to crop, and then you can move it where you want or expand it where you want. Just like that. And then I'm going to zoom on in. And then this, I want to make sure that the text is white. And this is where you can put your buttons. So you can put as many buttons as you want, whatever resources that you have, you can definitely put that in there. But in this case, I just put book, free strategy call. And then I just went ahead and duplicated this 3 times. And so this became watch seller series, and this became download guide. Okay, now in this case, book your free strategy call. If you use Calendly like I do, I would just link your Calendly booking calendar here. So if you don't know how to use Calendly, I do actually have a tutorial on my channel where I go deep into how to use Calendly for real estate. But in this case, I just have a extension here, so I'm just gonna copy the link. And here's another trick. If you want to hyperlink a button, you don't actually have to go through the 3 dots. If you just click on the button and you just go Command V, I lied. Click on the shape and then Command V, it will hyperlink it like that. So you don't have to go through the effort of clicking the 3 buttons all the time. And then for, your seller series, you can just link this to your YouTube channel. I highly recommend that you have educational YouTube videos on your channel for buyers and sellers, but I'm just going to skip that for now. And this download guide section, I actually just link it to this page here. So I'm going to click on this, click on it, try not to put your cursor where the text is so you can get those 3 dots here. Click on that, then go to link. And then remember, if we scroll down, the cell should be on page 7. So I'm going to unlink that. And then once that's done, you can actually click on each button. Click on each button, hold the shift key and select all 3, and then go into animate up here. And then I like to do the pan, but I like to do the pan in the other direction like that and make it a little bit slower so it looks nice and seamless. So there is that. And then once you're done with this page, always go in, check the preview. So most of the time I just check the preview for the, there we go, that's how we want it. See, that's exactly how we want it. That's why we use those grids so that Canva maintains that spacing there, because if we didn't use those invisible grids, this selling would literally be like right against this green header, which I don't like, because I think what makes the website look really nice and seamless and flows nicely is having good spacing in between all of your elements. And again, if we click on this page, it should just bring us down to the next page. All right, so now that that is done, we'll come back to these seller guides, because typically this page, the selling page, is pretty much the exact same as the buying page, but except they are just swapped places. So to save you the time, I'm just going to copy my design here. So I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to paste here. But I will have to make sure I size it up. Oh, actually, let's make sure that this is like that. There we go. And then obviously these links would be broken because they are not from the same page design. So this would be page number 10. Unlink. And then again, this would just go straight to your Calendly. And then let's go ahead and preview and make sure that those pages down there are stacked nicely too. So there's your sellers. And then here's the buyers. Okay, Now let's see if I click on this. Should bring me down to this page. Perfect. Now this header here, again, you could put a quote here, but I would have something that would indicate that this is now a section. We're going into buyers in case people are just, chronologically just like scrolling through your site. So in this case, I thought this was really cute, ready to make a change to your address. You can steal that. That's really good. So now that we have our buying and selling sections made, we can now go ahead and make the mock-up for the guides, essentially. So in this case, I just went ahead and went into elements, and if you scroll down and you go into frames, you can see all. And then if you go into devices here, click on see all, and then I just picked this iPad. Let's do that. Just like this. And then, actually, you know what? The buyer and selling, the selling with success and buying with success pages are actually the exact same format. The only thing I changed was the picture and obviously the links and the wording here. So basically the guides page, so the seller guide and the buyer's guide pages, they match, and then the front pages for the buying and selling, they match. So again, there's just cohesion between all of your pages, so it looks nice and branded. Anyways, going back into our elements, I'm going to search for shadow. So I'm going to grab this one, and I'm just going to put this right underneath here. Like that. Let's push this send backwards so it's behind. So you can see how there's a bit of a gapping. See how there's like a white line? You can't really see it, but I see it. So I'm just going to scoot this upwards. And then all you have to do is group this together. And then if you actually have the cover photo of your buyer or seller guide, put that on there. So in this case, I'm going to go into my other graphics here. This is for sellers, right? Yeah. Graphics. Seller. This one. And then I'm just going to copy this one, paste it down here. Instead of having this one, I need to ungroup this to delete. Okay. Group. Back here, go and grab my buyer guide. And these buyer and seller guides are also available as templates on my Etsy shop. So again, check it out, because this buyer guide matches this theme of this particular website here. So I'm just going to, okay, these are already grouped. That's perfect. And again, to save you the time, I'm just going to copy and paste the text and verbiage that I have here on my other design. So this is my seller guide. I want to make sure that this is centered. Okay, it's centered. Again, these are just all text pieces, and that download button is the same style download button as you see up here with the gradients. So again, you want to have your buttons to somewhat be similar in style and in look, in size, and in font, so people know that these are clickable buttons. Now, in this case, download, if you can link this to whatever. So if you have access to KV Core, you can create a KV Core landing page, and then you can capture their email, and then the system will take their email and automatically, send out an email. Or if you are using Google Forms and Zapier, you can create an automation using Zapier. So if you get somebody's email and name and phone number through filling out a Google form, then it can speak to Zapier, and Zapier can send out an automatic Gmail email on your behalf. I have a tutorial on that if you want to check it out. Or if you use any other email campaign kind of software and you have a landing page that can deliver a guide, put it here. Or if you're feeling very generous, you just want to have your guides available, put it in a Google Drive and just take that Google Drive link and just link it there. So whatever you want to do, you can totally do whatever you like. It's up to you. And then I'm just going to go in and also copy and paste the text that I have here from mine other design here, and just line it up nicely. Does that look good? Does that look good? Like that. Maybe put this down a little bit. And you'll notice here that I'm not using those frames, like the grids, because technically sometimes it works where you don't necessarily need additional frames like you would here in this case. but because this is just one element and all this stuff, I would just group together so it would stack nicely. Did I put animations on here yet? No, not yet. So I'm gonna ungroup that. So actually I would group this group, so Command G on my keyboard. Then I would go here, so select this button, and I would go into animate and go hit rise. Same thing, group this text together, select this, rise, and now with this one, if you select these, you can do a pan, which I think is cool, and a pan. There we go. Now you can keep these pages white, but I'm gonna actually put in a gradient. So if I click on the background, I'm gonna click on here. I already made my gradients here, so I'm just gonna select that. And then again, it saves you time. So I'm going to do that. So that is pretty much done and done. So let's go ahead and preview this in our here. So that looks good. Good, selling with success. Nice pan. And the other pan, download. Then you have, it changes into buyers here. Another pan, the other pan, button goes up. And now we can start building out our testimonials. We are almost there. This video is now like 46 minutes long. Okay, we're making money moves. Now here, again, you can put another cute quote. You can definitely steal mine. I think mine is really nice. So mine says, turning houses into homes, one client at a time. Woo, I love it. Now in this case, let's go back to design up here. Let's see if we can take something from Canva. So in this case, I like this one here. So I'm going to do that. And then I am going to just take my text box from my other design here and delete that and replace it. And then obviously you can put their name and their, quick little testimonial here. So I'm just going to leave that as it is. Again, I would go ahead and take this button up here and copy it and paste it down here. But I would obviously name it something else. So again, if you have other reviews, you have more reviews, you can link that button there. So you have to name this more reviews. And then go ahead, link it first, then group it together, and then add in your animation. And so for the sake of this, if I don't put something in here, it's going to be blank when we preview it. So you're going to see me 3 times. So there we go. And then one thing I also like to add in here, just for a little bit more visual contrast and to highlight 5-star reviews, is 5 stars. So 5 stars. So you can choose any of these. You can choose like these, these 3D ones. Like this one's nice. This is gold. This is nice. Nice. Or you can choose these ones because you can actually change the colors of this. But for fun, let's go in and add these 5 gold stars. So I'm going to hold the Option or Alt key to click and drag a copy. And then at this point, once you put in your testimonials, you want to make sure that you click and drag and group. Click and drag and group, because if you don't, it's going to be a mess when you go into the mobile view. Put this down here, maybe a little bit more. And I'm just going to anchor this button. So I'm just going to lock it. So I'm going to go into preview and scroll all the way to the bottom. There we go. And that's what it looks like. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. And then if you go here, scroll back up, that's what it will look like. Just going to close that out. And now we're almost there. We're in the home stretch. Again, this page here, your newsletter, is totally optional, but highly recommend you start to build out a newsletter quite early on as possible. So I'm just going to zoom in here And again, I'm going to do another mock-up similar to what we did with the iPads. I'm going to go into Elements. I'm going to go down to Frames, and I just search up here in Devices. You can choose the iMac, or in this case, just a laptop. I'm just going to choose this laptop. And then again, because this image looks kind of flat, I'm going to go and grab, you know, a shadow. I'm going to take this one because it was in our recently used. So there, it has a little bit more dimension. Again, you want to push this behind. Where is it aligned? Okay, I guess it has to be kind of on top for the layers tab to show up. Send backwards. Then group this together. Now, I do believe for this page, I actually did use a grid again to maintain spacing. So I'm going to grab this grid here and I'm going to fit it into that serrated square margin and just make this, actually I'm going to make this page a cream color. And then you can go ahead and drag and drop like a screenshot of your newsletter if you have one, or just go into Canva and look up somebody, you know, on their devices like that. So in this case, I'll just choose this one and I'm just going to crop it. So for this particular photo, I just looked up somebody on their phone, person on their phone, and that's why it's in my recently used. But again, if you have a screenshot of your newsletter, good to have that in there so they know what to expect. And then again, to save you some time, I'm going to click and copy over my other design here. There you go. And in this case, we want to make sure that our spacing is maintained. And I'm going to go back into preview and I'm going to actually go into mobile. Let's have fun and go all the way down to newsletter. There we go. So the spacing is quite large, which I don't know how I feel about that. So maybe we need to make this bigger. Make it bigger. So let's go ahead and preview again. Down to newsletter. Oh, so it's doing that. Maybe we made it too big. Scoot it over here. Let's see what happens. And let's go to newsletter. Okay, maybe we just made it too big now. It doesn't want to work. It doesn't want to work. Okay, make sure it's inside the margins. And newsletter. There. It's better, but not great. So what if we actually remove that grid? Both of them. Let's see what happens. Let's just see. Sometimes we don't always need that grid, but let's see. See, it's all right. I mean, you can see how there's no spacing here. It just squishes it all the way to the edge. Maybe I am just gonna keep that in here. Let's see. Push that over more to here. And let's see. I think we just had to give more spacing out that way. So I'm going to go back to newsletter. You know what? I'm going to keep it at that. I'm happy with more space than no space. So we are good with that. Now we are in the home stretch, which is the agent footer, which I think is very, 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 very important because they need to know that you are that real estate agent. Now for this particular page, my design inspiration basically came from Linktree, because you know how you have like your profile picture and then like a little bio and then social icons and then all your buttons underneath. So that's basically what we are going to do. Again, we're going to maintain the left side and the right side so that when we go into mobile, it's going to stack nicely. So first things first, I'm going to go in and grab my profile picture. Now I have a few made up here. So this one is like a pop-out profile picture. If you want to know how to make that, I do have another tutorial that you can watch. I will link it in the description box down below. But that's so much better than like this one. See, it's like 3D. So you pop it out. And then to save you the time, I'm going to cheat and I'm just going to copy this from my other design. Just do that. So this is Brittany, the Brittany font, if you are curious. I didn't make this uppercase. There we go. And then with this is just text box, and then this is just a random line. Now I put this line here because I added this for a design effect to break up the other logos that we're going to have here, because if you don't give a spacer, again, it squishes everything and it doesn't look as nice. So put a text box and then grab a line, literally just put L on your keyboard, make a line, and then you can just shorten it up like that. But anyways, I already done that. And I'm going to actually just probably pull this down so it's centered like that. And now I'm going to go in and actually build the buttons first. So I'm going to go back into Elements, go into Shapes. And in this case, I want these to be hollowed out buttons. So I'm just going to do like this. Go into here, click on this. We're going to make this transparent, but then we need to go into these border styles. And I'm going to make this round 2. Hit enter. Then hit the border color. Then I'm going to make it white. I'll probably make it white. White. Like that. Actually, I'm going to make the borderline 1. And then double click, make sure your text is white. And literally, just for this one, I'm going to put in a number. Okay. And then, actually, let's make this a little bit more skinnier. Little longer. And then I'm going to just hold the Alt or Option key, click and drag to duplicate. And in this case, I'm just going to label this one as website. We're going to go in and, don't worry, hyperlink everything. And now we are going to go and click this button. So don't click on the text, but click on the box. So then you can have the more here. And then I am going to go to link here. And if you actually put in your number, Canva will understand what you mean, and you hit enter, it's going to do that tell colon. So if they actually click this number, it will try to call you. So I am just going to unlink that website. We're going to do link, and for the sake of this video, I'm just going to do Linktree. I have a keyboard shortcut here. So there we go. Unlink, and then email, 3 dots. Link, actually just put in your email, because Canva will understand what that is. Hit enter, it's going to do the mail too. Alright, so hit done. And now I'm going to go into my brand kit because I already have icons made here. So the YouTube one, I'm going to grab, let's see here, this one, maybe this one. I'm going to select all 3 of them, and I'm going to make them small so they are actually the same size. So if you had like TikTok or Facebook or whatever, go ahead and use those, but I'm just going to put that website one there too. Then I'm going to go into positions, and I'm going to, I guess they're already tidied up. They're vertical, horizontal, and tidied up and spaced perfectly even. Nice. Okay, so I'm actually gonna group these together. And same thing, you would go in and first, actually, you would want to hyperlink all of them properly. But you know how to hyperlink, right? So same thing, just gonna do that. So make sure you hyperlink everything all individually, and then go in and group them. Then at this point, we are gonna put in our logos. So I'm just gonna go back up to here. Then I'm gonna grab this one. So I have variations of my logos, so I'm just going to put that there at the top. Let's zoom out. Wow. And then do EXP like that. And that should be perfect. So just to be safe, I'm just gonna probably group all of this together so it doesn't move when we go from desktop to mobile. Okay. All right, so we scroll all the way down. There you go. I mean, you could put in another grid if you wanted to maintain that spacing from the top and the bottom, because as you can see here, Canva just squishes it all together. So maybe let's try that, because there is a lot of space that we gave here. There's a lot of space. But again, Canva likes to squish things together, which isn't always ideal. I'm going to do that, and you know what? I'm going to leave it as it is, because I'm going to show you a super hack later. Let's see if this actually works. Let's see if this works first. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. It's giving us too much space in between. I don't like that. So we're going to have to sacrifice on this one. So instead of doing that, what I actually want to show you is a trick that I learned to make your stuff look a little bit more fancy and a little bit more dimensional. So if you look up shadows, or not just shadows, but like window shadows. Oh my gosh, I cannot spell. Window shadow. And then you grab like any of these, like this one or this one. Let's see here. What if we grab this one and just replace background? And then if we go to edit photo, we can further make this bigger. But anyways, it just adds shadow and dimension. And you can also do the same thing to these images here, like the header ones here, if you wanted to. But I mean, again, totally up to you. Let me just go back to my design here. In this case, I just did it for the bottom page, but I also did it for this header, sorry, up here. Actually gonna make it a little bit thicker. And I'm just going to put that there. So right click on it and then replace background. And then again, it's giving you shadows. If you click on the background, go to edit photo, crop, you can play around with where you want that. But again, it just adds just some visual interest rather than it just being a flat color. Or if you wanted to, you again could use the gradients on there. But I just wanted to keep the gradients on those buttons there. But other than that, this is your full website done in what, an hour? Yeah. And then let's go ahead and preview it. So go up to here. We want with navigation. Sorry, I tried to go to the desktop one. So this is what it looks like. If you expand it down here, you can pull the full thing. And this is what it looks like. Now at this point, you would want to go through and make sure that every link is properly hyperlinked, that every button goes to where it is supposed to. Make sure that you have actual client testimonials in there. And then again, there we go. Now with your newsletter, again, if you have KV Core or any other email campaign system, link that button there. Build your email list early and fast. And there we go. We have this on mobile. That's what it looks like. Good spacing in between. Just like that. So I hope you enjoyed this design. I hope you like the look of it. It took some time for me to come up with this, but I hope you enjoy. One more thing that I just want to actually change up here is actually change this color to a cream color, just to add a little bit more dimension, so it doesn't look like it's still a continued part of this page here. But actually, did I link this? Oh, I didn't. So this page, Get in Touch, I would ungroup it, click on this. Oh, we did link it. It is contact. So let me just group that. Animate, rise. So let's go ahead and preview and make sure that button is linked. So if we click on this, it should take us all the way down to this one here. Oh, and we forgot to add in animations for the last page. So because I had animations already in this last page that I copied over from my other design, that's why it's doing that. But if you click on the image here, give this a rise so this all comes together. And then for this, I actually just hyperlinked. I have to ungroup this. I just selected the buttons themselves and did a pan. I think I did it the other way, like that. And then grouped it. Let's see if it will still. See, click this. There we go. And then if we go into mobile, it should be still properly in place, just like that. And if we click this, it'll take us to the top. Now, at this point, you are ready to publish this website. So go ahead, click this publish website button. Then in this case, you have several options. If you are with Canva Free or Canva Pro, you can use a free Canva domain, which I always use. But again, this is going to be your real estate website. So I do suggest that you invest in your own domain name. So the easiest thing you can do in this case is just purchase a domain name through Canva and just host your website on Canva itself. But if you have an existing domain, you can hook it up to here. But honestly, I have not done either of these two, because I host my actual website on a different platform, because I just needed more. But in this case, from what I understand, if you just purchase your domain through Canva, it's actually really seamless and easy. I would recommend you to buy your name, like your first name, last name, RE. So your first name, last name, RE, real estate, or whatever it is, because you want to rank for your name in the system, okay? Because if people are Googling your name in the system, it's nice to have your website as your name, so you actually pop up in Google search results. Now, with that said, choose whatever you want. You're going to have to do your own homework on these two here. So again, you also do have to be Canva Pro users to be able to use these two options down here. So sorry, you're going to have to do your own homework on that one. We need to make sure resize on mobile is selected with navigation on. Now go into continue, and then this page here actually, so whatever the title is of the design here correlates to what is going to be written here. So in this case, easy fix, you can just hit the pencil button here and you can name this literally just your name, like real estate. And then depending on the brand kit that you're in, it will pull the logos from that brand kit. Or you can also upload your own. Shows you here it has to be 280 by 280 pixels. So you can press this button here and you can select from your computer. But I'm just going to choose this logo that I have here in my brand kit. I'm just going to leave this section as nothing because I want this to be my main site. But in this case, it's pulling. This is my free Canva domain name. So, I mean, you could do like a website, but ideally you would just want it to be like, you know, laressangoeun.com or whatever it is. But in that case, I would just leave it at that. And then I would would put like a quick little description here with your name, have some keywords in there so that the system will try to at least have some good SEO on there. So search engine optimization, that's what SEO stands for. And then for advanced settings, I would turn search engine visibility on and turn this on, the link preview enabled. Turn that on. And then at this point, you would just go ahead and hit publish, and then it would just do its thing. And it's just, it's pretty fast because, again, I chose my Canva free domain. I honestly do not know what it would look like if you do decide to purchase a domain name through Canva. But from what I heard from other agents, they have told me it's a pretty seamless process. So I highly recommend that you check it out and come back to this video. Let me know in the comments how that went for you if you do decide to purchase a domain through Canva. And with that said, let's go ahead and open this up. And there you go. This is your real estate website made with Canva website. It's a single page here with all of the resources, and I think it looks fabulous. If you do this, let me know. Send me a message on Etsy or on Instagram with your website link. I would love to see it. And if you want to learn more about Canva websites and specifically how to make a website that looks like this for your real estate listings, then you definitely need to check out this video right over here. And if you're ready, get ready to click in 3, 2, 1.